Hi, thank you for watching. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Have a great day.
Hi guys, welcome back to I hate my voice so much. Self-love, self-love, self-love. Do you guys think this middle part thing works, like when my hair is curled? Or does it look stupid? I don't know. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Haley Pham if you're new here, and today's video is going to be a cringy one. Oh look, I got my nails done. Aren't they so cute? I never get my nails done. Anyways, in today's video, I'm going to be telling you all those super cringy, sad, embarrassing stories of my preteen love life. Some of them I was a preteen, some of them I am a teenager in, whatever. It's all an awkward stage. I feel like I'm just now starting to not be so awkward, but I'm like still a little awkward. I don't know. It's just an awkward time. Like, what am I? I'm not an adult. I'm not a child. I'm just like a weird teenager who doesn't understand. Okay, you know, I'm just gonna stop talking. I have a couple small stories. None of them are like big or gigantic. They're just like a bunch of tiny little memories that I remember. So I'm just going to tell you about a couple of these stories. In my memory, they're really embarrassing and they make me just like feel gross and like cringy inside, you know? So I don't like it. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the most heartbreaking, sad story. I remember this was like the biggest deal to me. I think I was in 8th grade. The story for this one is I had grown up in like this charter school all of my life, and I had always liked this one boy, and like we had even dated and stuff, but then I wanted to be adventurous and go to a real school, a real public school. So 7th grade I left, and when I came back in 8th grade I ended up still having a crush on this boy who I dated in like 5th and 6th grade. So we just like always had a connection for some reason, and we were like flirting with each other a lot at the beginning of the year, and I was like, oh yeah, like I got him under my what's the saying? Like, oh yeah, like I got this boy like wrapped around my finger, you know, like we're gonna date again. This is so easy. Like, I've dated this boy before. Obviously he probably still likes me. And so like that's just how it was going. We were flirting, everything was going great. And then I don't really know what happened because I feel like this was more towards the end of the year. I guess things just like never really progressed or whatever. And then I made friends with a new girl at our school because I had like a falling out with my friend group, and so I like was making these new friends, and we're gonna call this girl Sarah for the sake of this video. So Sarah and I were best friends. She was a Croatian girl, very pretty, and all of a sudden started talking to us again, and I told I was like, hey, like this is a little secret, but like I still have a crush on we used to date each other, but like don't tell anyone, I still have a crush on him. And so she was like, oh, like okay. I'm so bad at storytelling. Oh, like okay. Jeez, okay. This is why I'm not a storytime YouTuber. And she was like, okay, cool, like your secret is safe with me, whatever. So we just go about our day-to-day routine at school, and obviously I'm trying to figure out if he likes me or not. And I started to notice he would come into my classroom, like, sit on the desk, talk to us. Whenever we would walk outside, like he would come and stand next to us and like talk to us. Oh my gosh, like he totally likes me. He's clearly into me. He's going out of his way to come to my class and walk next to me, all this stuff. So I was convinced he liked me, right? I was telling I'm convinced he likes me. Oh shoot, I just said his name. Dang it. And then one day I get a Snapchat. I think it was a Snapchat. We were using Snapchat back then, right? And so I get a little snap message, and she's like, hey, we're gonna call him Rick. She was like, hey, Rick asked me out. And I was like, okay, like, do you like him? Are you gonna say yes? And like, mind you, this whole time she never told me that she liked him too. And so I was just kind of caught off guard, and this whole time I thought Rick liked me. So I was like, oh, he asked you out. That's interesting. And so she was like, yeah, like I think I'm gonna say yes. And so then they started dating, and the whole time when he was going out of his way to go to my classroom to talk to me, the whole time Sarah was sitting right next to me, and he was coming to talk to the whole time we were outside walking and he would come over to talk to me, he was standing next to because he was doing it for. And this whole time, like, I made up this whole world in my head where, like, he was definitely doing it for me. But no, honey, I was just a side girl who he used to date, who he no longer liked, and he had a crush on my new pretty best friend. So yeah, I let them date. I got over it. It's fine. It's a boy. Don't let stuff like that get between your friendships. It was fine. I just thought it was funny, like, the whole time I was so convinced all of those efforts were for me, and like the whole time she was standing right next to me, and I couldn't see that it was like them two, not yeah, okay, cool. The second story probably happened when I was super young. I used to have a crush on this Indian kid, and we're gonna call him Jack for the sake of this video. So Jack and I were probably in like fourth grade, I guess, because this was when we were still walking in lines around school. Like, you remember when the teacher had to line you up? So I got in line behind him, obviously, because I just wanted to see that little booty walk. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. That's inappropriate. I don't look, what? No. I was in line behind him. Whenever I'm around my crush, I just get really hyper, and I don't know, I just get really hyper and jittery and just excited about life, I guess. So I'm walking behind him, probably trying to crack jokes or something, and then all of a sudden, just Haley being the klutz that she is, I trip over my own feet. And just by like natural reflex, I put my hands out to like catch myself, and my hands go all the way down his body and like grab his butt, trying to hang on for dear life so that I don't fall. But I end up falling anyway, and so my crush turns around and sees me laying on the floor, and he's like, "Did you just grab my butt?" Here I am, like, laying on the ground. I'm like, "Oh yeah, sorry, like, I was just trying to catch myself, haha, hee hee." And he was so weirded out that I, like, literally, like, touched him everywhere and, like, grabbed his butt, trying not to fall. And he just kept walking and didn't help me up, and there I was, just laying on the ground. You know when you have one of those moments and you're just kind of sitting there and you're just like, did that really just happen? Like, okay, cool. My third story happened in 7th grade, and there was a guy I liked, and we're gonna call him Banana. And we're gonna call him Banana because his real name is actually a fruit. It's not banana, but it is a fruit. So I started liking this guy named Banana, and I don't know if he just naturally started liking me or if someone told me that I liked him or something, because I remember one day we were walking in the hallways, and I always had this weird thing where when I was younger, if I liked a boy and then I found out they liked me, it would like immediately gross me out and be like, ew, like they like me? That's disgusting. And then I would just think they're so gross and I would hate them and like not talk to them. And so that's kind of what happened. As soon as he realized that I liked him, he was trying to go after me, and like we were in the hallways and he was like, "Oh, hey Haley, like how are you?" Like clearly trying to make conversation. He'd never talked to me in his entire life, and he was clearly being flirty. Like he was just a flirty type of guy, and I was just kind of avoiding him, like walking faster and stuff. And he was like, "Oh, like can I get a hug?" And I was like, "No, I'm sick." And I like sprinted down the hallway, legit like out of a movie, pretended like I was sick just so I could avoid a hug. And this was a guy who I was obsessed with, but as soon as he started like hitting on me and like, "Hey, can I have a hug?" I was like, "No, I'm sick, I have a flu," and like ran away. So I missed my opportunity, and then after that point, as soon as he stopped liking me and started liking another girl, I just fell in love with him again. Okay, not actually fell in love, that's exaggerated, but in my brain, like I was just so obsessed with him, and like I would see all these pictures that he would post with his new girlfriend, and I was so emo about it. And like if I hadn't just pretended to be sick and ran away from him, then I would have probably maybe dated him, which is probably for the best that I didn't date him. He probably wasn't a very good guy, but such a cringy moment for me. My next story is okay, I'm not gonna say what grade this was in because I don't want him to know, because it was probably embarrassing enough for him as is. But there was a guy who I started to like, and we were like texting every single day. We clearly knew that we liked each other. I'm not sure if like one of my friends told him that I liked him or something. I don't know. Something happened where we liked each other. I think this was before we were dating. I dated this guy for like a month, I think. But I can't remember if this was before we were dating or this was like during we were dating. But okay, we were not preteens anymore. We were definitely teenagers, like definitely old enough to not be this awkward. But we would text message each other, and we planned out a time and place to give each other a hug. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna tell you what grade I was in because I feel like it just makes it so much funnier. I was a freshman in high school when this happened, which just makes it like that much more embarrassing because we were freshmen in high school and we had to plan out when we were gonna hug each other. Like that's sad. That's so weird and awkward. Like you don't plan when you're gonna hug. Okay, whatever. So we were like texting each other, like planning when to hug. I actually wasn't allowed to date this guy. Like I was allowed to date him, but he wasn't allowed to date me. So we couldn't like go out really often. And if we did go out, it would be with friends, and we didn't really want to like have our first hug in front of everyone. Like, it's a literal hug. We were treating it like a first kiss or something. It was so dramatic. And so we were like, all right, we're gonna stay after school one day, and we're not allowed to hug at this particular school because it was a super strict school. We couldn't let any of the teachers see us, but the teachers like roam around the hallways and tell you to leave after a certain point. So like, this was tricky business. This was a hard hug to get, okay? So I don't know how we did it. Somehow we stayed after school. I can like picture the hallway in my mind, and we're just standing there. We're like walking down the hallway, so awkward. Like, we know that we planned to have this hug like right now. When's it gonna happen? Like, we said we were gonna hug each other. And so I don't remember how it happened because I blocked it out of my memory. It's so gross. So we like are just standing there, and he turns around and he's like, okay, and like opens. I can't talk about this. It's so gross. Like, it's a hug. Why were we making such a big deal of it? And he was like, okay, like opens up his arms, and I go in for a hug, and I like hug him, and I audibly like was so repelled by it that I was like, oh, ew, and I like shuddered and like made a noise and said ew, like so loud, and he was like, what? Like, are you okay? Like, the hug was so bad. I don't even know how a hug can be bad, but like, oh, it just felt gross, and and then I dated him for a month. Oh yes, and not to mention, I later on had my first kiss with this guy, which will be an entire another story time because it is even more cringy than this one. Why would I date someone who I can't even stand hugging? That beats me, but... Oh, we were freshmen in high school when we planned a hug, and it was so disgusting, and I said ew right in front of his face and probably embarrassed him so badly. I'm sorry if you're watching this video. No offense to you. It was just like... Yeah, okay, whatever. We're just gonna move on. Okay, so I decided, I don't know if I want to keep this part in because it's like not really a story, but it's just another great example of how much of a klutz I am in front of people who I like. So there was this dude at our school, and I had never talked to him, so I finally got the courage to go talk to him. Like, I have my little Chick-fil-A soda, and I have my homework, and I'm like, oh yes, perfect. He takes that class too. Like, I'm gonna ask him about the homework, and we're gonna talk to each other. It's a perfect excuse. So I go into this room, and this is a particular room where you're not supposed to have food or drink, but I was being a little rebel, and I brought my soda in anyway. And so we're just like sitting there on the bleachers, and I'm asking him, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm talking to him. Like, I feel so great about myself. It took so much courage to come over here and talk to him. I set my Coke down, and we're just working on the homework, and I don't even know how. I just, somehow, my body spills, I think I was like leaning over to like see his answers or something, and I spilled the Coke everywhere, all over the bleachers, and there's this teacher just staring at me because she knows I'm not supposed to have food or drink, and she's just like, give me that like, what the crap are you doing face, you know, like, you're a high schooler, you're expected to know what you're doing, and you just spilled that Coke everywhere. And I was like, haha, oh my gosh, I spilled the Coke like in a place where I'm not supposed to have food, and there's a teacher staring at me, haha. And I like run to the restroom, and I'm on my hands and knees just cleaning up this Coke with my paper towels, and he's just laughing at me. And till this day, my voice is getting so gross. Day. But till this day, when I see this dude, he still talks about the time I spilled Coke everywhere for the first time that I ever talked to him. So that one is probably not even that funny to you guys, but for me, like, it's just, you know, when you like someone and you finally build up the courage, and then you just do stupid stuff like that. That's my life all the time. So yeah, those are all the stories that I could remember from my past couple years of liking boys and being stupid. I hope they were entertaining to you in the slightest. I'm not very good at story times, but you guys like story times, and I love story time videos. It's like one of the only things I watch on YouTube, so I thought I would give it a try. Tell me if it was okay, or if I should just like stop trying to do the story time thing, then I'll stop. If you did like it, you can subscribe because I try to post videos every Saturday or Sunday, just like on the weekends, basically. And if you want to keep up with me, I have an Instagram, a Snapchat, a Twitter, and a vlog channel. So there are a lot of places where you can follow me, and we're almost to 70K on my Instagram, so that would be fun for the new year, like 70K. And we're almost at 300,000 family members, so if you subscribe, you can help me out and join the fam. Give this video a thumbs up if you like story times, and if I didn't do terribly. And I'll see you guys next weekend. Bye!
Oh, would you be so kind as to fall in love with me? You see, I'm trying. I know you know that I like you, but that's not enough.
If you like this video, please hit the like button. Leave a comment down below and check out my channel for more videos. The description also has links to all my social media, as well as a link to my Amazon page. Have a great day.